Welcome back to iShine Connect.
If you look back at your life, you're sure to spot some divine detours. A few years after I began pastoring, our church started to really grow. We needed a larger auditorium. We found this 100-acre tract of land on the freeway, about 2 miles from the church. I talked to the owner. He said it had been on the market for over 20 years, and he'd never had one offer. I thought, wow, God saved this just for us. It was perfect. The owner said, you can do your preliminary drawings, soil samples. Well, we're waiting for the contract. There's no big hurry. Several months later, we went to close on the property. We had an 8 a.m. meeting. We showed up at 7:45. The men's secretary came out, said, I'm sorry, but the owner sold the property last night. I couldn't believe it. He didn't keep his word. I was so disappointed. I just knew that was the devil taking our property. Well, a couple of months later, we found a better piece of property. Had more space for parking. They were building a new off-ramp from the freeway that would give it great access. I knew that's why the other property didn't work out. We went to close on it. Believe it or not, the same thing happened. They sold it to someone else. I was discouraged. I didn't understand it. But I did what I'm asking us to do. I said, God, I'm disappointed, but I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to flow with it. I know these closed doors mean you have something better. So I'm going to take down my sails and let these winds blow us to where you want us to go. 6 months later, a friend called and said the Houston Rockets basketball team was about to move out of the Compact Center. The city was going to put it up for sale. When I heard that, something came alive on the inside. By the grace of God, things fell into place. 3 years later, it was our building. And the reason our plans don't work out many times is because they're too small. What God has in your future is bigger, better, more rewarding than you can imagine. Don't fight the wrongs. The wrongs are necessary to get to the fullness of your destiny. It was wrong that that first man didn't keep his word to us. It was wrong that the second group sold the property out from under us. But I discovered that two wrongs in this case were leading to a right. It was all a part of God's plan. I don't fault the first man anymore. It wasn't his choice. He was a pawn in the hands of God. He had to say no. He couldn't override God's purpose. The second group, they had to turn us down. God wanted that door closed. That wasn't rejection, that was protection. That was to keep us from missing the best plan. And there may be things in your life right now that you're disappointed over, that weren't fair, you don't understand it. One day, you're going to look back and say like me, it had to happen. They had to say no. All these things had to go wrong so you could get to the right place. It's not just a detour, it's a divine detour. It's the hand of God ordering your steps. Remember Joseph? The dreamer back in the book of Genesis. When he was a teenager, God put a dream in his heart that one day he would be in leadership, that he would do great things. But what happened? Doors opened, good people showed up, promotion. No, his brothers became jealous and threw him into a pit. Betrayal, that was wrong. He was sold as a slave, went to a foreign country, didn't speak the language, that was wrong. He was working hard, being his best, when the owner's wife lied about him, falsely accused him. He was put in prison, something he didn't do. That was wrong. One night, the Pharaoh, the leader of the country, had a dream that he couldn't understand. Someone told him about Joseph, this prisoner, that he could interpret dreams. The scripture says they brought Joseph quickly to the palace. All these wrongs, now he's going to meet with the most powerful person of that day. He interpreted the dream. Pharaoh was so impressed, he made Joseph the prime minister of all of Egypt, second in command only to him. But notice how all the wrongs were leading to a right. Without one of the wrongs, he'd never gotten to the palace. If he'd skipped the betrayals, if his brothers wouldn't have been jealous, the whole plan wouldn't have worked. If he hadn't been sold as a slave, if the lady hadn't lied about him, we wouldn't be talking about Joseph. All the wrongs were necessary to get to the right place. Maybe you're having some wrongs in your life. People that didn't keep their word. The pandemic set you back. The door closed on that dream you worked so hard for. How do you know you're not a Joseph? Do you think somehow that God was having a bad day when He was planning your life? No, those are divine detours. You're still in the palm of God's hand. Now, what you do in the detour, what you do in the wrongs will determine whether you come out or whether you stay. If Joseph was bitter, upset, God, I can't believe it. I know what you promised me. Why did these brothers do this to me? If he'd been trying to get revenge, he wouldn't have made it to the right place. Joseph's attitude was, I don't like it. It's not fair, but I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to flow with it. I know God is still on the throne, and what He's purposed for my life will come to pass. If that person that walked away could stop your destiny, they would be more powerful than God. If that betrayal, the disappointment, the closed door could keep you from your purpose, then it would be stronger than God. Yes, it was wrong. I'm not saying it wasn't hurtful. I know it didn't feel good, but you have to understand it's leading you to a right. It's not random, it's strategic. It's not the enemy, it's the hand of God leading you into something more amazing than you've ever imagined. If you open your eyes, you'll see it. It's a divine detour. The outcome will be better than you've ever dreamed.
We'll be right back after this short break.
No matter where I am, NFL Plus is how I football.
Kelsey reaches for the touchdown.
I'm talking live, local, and primetime regular season games. Live audio from every game this season.
Dalvin Cook.
45-minute game replays and more.
Allen over the middle to Diggs.
This is the NFL at your fingertips. This is live games on your phone or tablet. This is how you football. NFL Plus. Start your free trial today.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Feliz Navidad. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
From our Better Together family to yours.